show on. Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here, for watching my videos, for showing up live, or if you're watching at home, thank you for watching it at home. So today we are looking at Frida Development, an incredible opportunity in my opinion. And today I'm going to share why I think so with you in a lot more depth than YouTube video affords me. And so the way we're going to run it today is we're going to look at the location. First, I'm going to share with you some of the videos that I didn't share in the YouTube video. Then we're going to look at units and their locations and prices. And we're going to look at the developer's overview, and I'm going to share with you some of the difficulties that we're facing at the moment that not we, the developer is, and my trusted realtor and I have been working with them trying to figure out the pieces. So I'm going to share that with you. Rental potential and then next steps, okay? And as I was telling you that, I realized that the video that I recorded for you, I didn't put it on YouTube. I was going to, and I totally forgot. So what I'm going to do, give me a second here. What I'm going to do, let me share my screen with you. And I'll see, I probably won't be able to do that now. But you know what I'll do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to link the video of the streets in the replay. Okay, so actually that's fine. And you can watch it at your own accord. And right now, I'm just going to share with you this map, which I kind of had as an idea anyways. So, okay. Can you see my screen, everybody? Yes, thank you, Hector. Perfect. Okay. So, all right. If you are not familiar with Centro, and you know what, I'm going to assume that we're going to go from the very beginning here. All right, so here is the map of the bay. This is what we call the beautiful Bahia de Banderas. And right here, you can see my mouse, I'm sure. Here's Aeropuerto International Airport. And if we're going to go north towards Centro and Zona Romantica, it would take us from the airport, it would take us about, I'd say 35 to 40 minutes to get to Centro. So Cinco de Diciembre is here, which is many of you know, if you watch my videos, you know I love this area. And Centro is this part right here. And then moving north is infamous Zona Romantica, okay? So Zona Romantica is definitely a very, very hot area. Property prices in Zona Romantica have been rising for a very long time. And in my opinion, at this moment right now, they don't make sense if you are an investor who is looking for a property to cash flow. Now, if you love the area, if you love to come on vacation there, if you come here for 1, 2, 3 months at a time, sure, that's beautiful, fantastic. But if you're looking for a cash flow to help you with, you know, whatever, paying for your vacation home, having as an additional income, all those beautiful things that owning real estate should allow us, I believe that Zona Romantica is a little bit out there. So for that reason, Cinco de Diciembre and Centro are the two areas. And Centro doesn't have all that many opportunities. In my opinion, I haven't seen any. But this one, when Frida came out, I was super, super excited. So as you could see in the video, I walked the area. So if you're not familiar, or if you are familiar, El Malecón is right here. So basically it's a boardwalk that goes along the water all the way. It starts in about Cinco de Diciembre. It goes all the way through Centro, and then it follows into Zona Romantica. So right in the middle, so this part right here is where all of the action happens. You saw it in my video. There are tons of restaurants. Like that is it's a busy, busy zone. This is where all of the realtors, all of the tourists come to. Like basically, if you come to Puerto Vallarta, you must come to El Malecón. It is an attraction. Now, in the south part of Centro, we're starting to see hills going up. So basically, Cinco de Diciembre starts out pretty flat. Then we start to move towards the south part of Cinco. Over here, it starts to get hilly. And then here in Centro, it continues. And as we get closer to our beautiful Frida, we're basically getting close to like very, very steep hills. I'll tell you how steep. You see this part here, Mirador El Cerro de la Cruz. That is a viewpoint. Like, it's gorgeous. There's a ton of steps that go up. A lot of people go there to work out. You may have seen some videos I've done with the view from there. So it does get steep. Now, the beautiful part about Frida, let me zoom in and show you the location. So if you were to turn from El Malecon, just like I did, and what I did is I went on this Corona Street, okay? Keeps popping up. So I went on the Corona Street. Now my Russian, Spanish, English accent comes out. So you would go up, and when you stand at El Malecon and you look up, it is not a steep hill. So it is fairly, well, I wouldn't say it's flat. It's definitely going up, but it's not up like this, which some of the streets on this side and this side experience. Like, it's much steeper. So that's beautiful because that allows us as investors, when we look at this property, to see that it would be suitable for a larger group of people. So we are probably not going to be marketing to elderly visitors who have a hard time going up the stairs, right? But pretty much anybody else would make that hill. So that's not a problem. And I'm going to add the video. Like I said, I'm going to show you the video. So you start to go up, first 3 blocks, it's fairly flat. And then the last block is, it's about 4 blocks up, because it's right here. Hang on, you guys. No, it's here. Right here. Development is right here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So once you get through this part, it starts like you're start now stepping. And then once you turn to Miramar, Calle Miramar, now that is straight upstairs, you guys. So you're going straight upstairs. It's literally like this, okay? So the street where the development sits is very steep, and you definitely need to keep that in mind. Number one, that is one of the reasons why the prices are amazing. And reason number 2, so the area around it, as you could see in my video, and you will see in the extra footage I'll be sharing with you, is beautiful. Now, on Calle Miramar, there are two or three buildings that will need to get a facelift. So that street could be a little bit prettier, but it's not the whole street. It's just 1 or 2 buildings. Again, you'll see it in the video, okay? Now, when you go to Galeana Street or Calle Galeana, over here, right here, is that viewpoint that I shared with you. So you can imagine the views that you would experience from the development. So that's kind of an overview. We're looking at fairly flat at the beginning of the Malecon, then you're looking at the stairs and even more stairs going up this way. Now, if you were to head there from Calle Galeana, these are steeper stairs on this side, but it's more flat here, right? And it's more flat on this side. I hope that makes sense. And you'll be able to see better on the video. Now, why do I love this area? I'm going to talk more about this when we get into the prices, but you are getting the best of all the worlds, essentially. You are getting people from Zona, because, you know, it's more expensive to stay there. I mean, for rentals, it's more expensive to stay there or what have you, because the walk from the development to Zona, well, depending on where you walk into Zona Romantica, would not be more than 10, 15 minutes, probably less, right? You're getting all sorts of different travelers. You are getting, you know, couples, you are getting singles with the size of the units, right? You're maybe getting some young families with 1 child. So the opportunity here is huge. These sounds, so the area is, well, I wouldn't say it's authentic. So if you're looking at Cinco de Diciembre is more authentic. This part is very artsy, as you could see. Like, there was a lot of murals there. It was just gorgeous. You will still experience the sounds because Mexico it's loud, right? Like, no matter where you are, it's going to be loud. However, you're not going to hear the Malecon loud, right? There are units on Malecon which are beautiful and you have the ocean view, but it's not for someone who wants to sleep at night, because that street does not sleep. It gets busy around 10, 11 p.m., right? Here, with this development, you are getting a much quieter, artsy neighborhood, okay? Any questions about the locations, you guys? About the location? I'm going to check the chat. Good. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I want to make sure my recording is on, I think. Yes, it is, of course. Okay, now let's move on to units and prices. And I want to go over, so I'm gonna go over the where the units are facing and how to read the pre-construction prices. Like, we're not gonna go through each and every unit. We're just gonna look at them. All right. So the building has 3 levels. Now, you guys, just the caveat, remember, this is not, I have not spoken with the developer. This is just my own research. Me, like, I mean, I understand it pretty well because I went to the location. I get the drawings. I've been in this business long enough, but this is just my overview, okay? Just so we're clear. Rick, what about the building in front of the development? Okay, so there is one building. If you saw it on the video, there's one building that needs some uplifting, like facelifting, and there's 2 others that are lovely. That's my opinion. There's one that's got tons of beautiful vegetation. You'll see more on my video that I'll share with you. Sorry, I forgot to upload it and I can't connect my phone to the computer, but I show you the 360, so you'll be able to take a look when it'll come out with the recording of this meeting, okay? But yeah, there's a couple buildings that need to be, so there's one that will probably get developed, like it's like a development site, older building. And then across the street, it's someone's house, but it's an older house as well. And then all the rest of the houses are very pretty, in my opinion. All right, so 3 levels in the building. If you remember from the video, and if you don't, I'll share it with you. Well, why don't we look right now? Might as well, so then we're not confused. Let me go back for a second. It's not letting me go back. Well, anyways, okay, so let's go to level 1. It basically, if you are familiar with the lots in Puerto Vallarta, and if you're not, I'll explain it. The lots are usually narrow and long. All right. So let me see. There's a question. How does that affect the view? So how does what affect the view, Rick? I was talking about the building on the, my kids are back. The building that the development is facing. Okay, I understand the confusion. Give me a second. I'm going to share with you the photo, if I can get to it, so we understand what we're talking about here, okay? And we are going to talk about the views in a second. Well, actually, you know what? I don't know why it's not letting me go back. No, let's just keep going. I'm going to touch on the view right now, Rick, okay? So level 1. Now, you are going to have, let's look at it here. Let's zoom right in here, you guys. Where are we? I'm going to kind of go back between these 2, okay? All right, so let's zoom in. The building will be sitting right here, okay? So Calle Miramar, the view, the west view will be beautiful because there's a steep hill. So unless there's going to be a very tall building built in front of Frida, which we would have to go and check, or you would have to go and check with your realtor and with, you know, with the permits. From the perspective of the neighborhood, I don't believe it's possible. There's only a certain level of height that could be built there, but that has to be checked, right? So if there is a height limit, no matter what is built in front of you, if it's within the permit height, you will still have your views because it's very steep, right? So, but again, that needs to be checked. If you're buying a unit that's facing the ocean, you should keep your view. If you're buying the unit that's facing the mountains, you're not getting a much of a view, right? So let's go back and look at the units. So this here is the lobby, and it sits on Calle Miramar, all right? Does that make sense, you guys? Tell me yes or no. And if not, I'm going to try and explain it better. So here is your lobby, will be here. This is the lobby. So you're going to have this unit right here. Let me go wide here. Yeah. So this unit right here is not going to have a view. Like, you're going to have a street view. That's about it. Because this will be a wall and here's your window. So you're facing Calle Miramar, no view. Now, if you're going to go up to the other side, and that's how they're building them. They're having 1 or 2 units on Calle Miramar without the view, and then the rest are going to be facing the ocean. So here you have 3 units. So this one here, the bigger one, has a bigger terraza. It's got a bigger patio. And then you have 2 smaller ones, studios that have smaller terrazas. But these guys should have the ocean view. Does that make sense? Are you with me here? I hope so. I think it does. Okay, so that's level 1. Now, obviously, please make sure if you're going to work with our realtor, if you're interested in this development, if you're going to work with Hannah, make sure to confirm all of this, you guys. This is my vision of it. I'm fairly certain this is what it is. I'd say I'm 100%, but you definitely need to make sure that nothing in front can be built and cover your view, especially for the level 1. All right. Now let's go to level 2. So level 2, you will see the difference. See, now there's 2 units because on level 1, we had the the lobby on this side. Now we have the other unit. Again, this here is Calle Miramar, no view. Well, you're going to have a bit of a mountain view when you look up, right? And then the units in the back, very similar kind of scenario here. So you've got a bigger unit here with balcón, terraza, and then you have another bigger unit, well, bigger for the development right next to it. So it's 4 units per level. I'm sorry, we're talking about the right side or left side of Miramar. Yeah, good question. Just a second, Rick, I'm going to share with you. So we're talking about the ocean side or the west side of Miramar, okay? I understand, it's a very good question. So the front of the building is sitting right here. Can you see my cursor? Okay. So the back of the building has the views of the ocean. The front of the building has the view of the street and mountains if you look up. Okay, keep going. So level 2, 4 units. You can see the balcón. And again, you guys, we're not really here to go through all of the units. All of that information could be like, if you're interested in the development, I'm happy to connect you with Hannah and you can like dissect all of that based on this info. But I'm going to quickly look at level 3 or penthouse level. And so penthouse level, we have similar situations. So here you'll have a better view because you're higher up in the front units. Okay, so this is Miramar right here, Calle Miramar. These are the 2 units here. And there is in the back, there was a beautiful 2-bedroom unit, but it's currently reserved. All right. So now here, no, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say you're going to get like a side view of the ocean, but that view may be gone because there will be something built on the side. So that is the entire building, 11 units, fairly straightforward. Again, if there's any questions about where they sit, you can always shoot me an email after you were able to see the video and this explanation, and we can touch on that, or Hannah is happy to help you with exact location. Any questions about the layouts? Please ask the questions, you guys. It's never an issue. I'm happy to answer them if there are questions. Yes, there will be a rooftop. Absolutely. That's why we love this opportunity. There is a rooftop with a small pool, and you don't need a big pool for a small building like this. But if I can get out of here, I can show you. Give me just a second. Let's see. Why is it not letting me? Oh, here we go. So, parking and HOA fees. Claudia, so parking, I don't think so. You're going to have to check, but not the way that street sits. I don't believe there's going to be parking. HOA fees, my favorite question to everyone on this live, you guys. The HOA fees are predicted to be $3 to $4 US per square meter. Now, That is never the case, you guys. So never, ever, ever believe that the HOA fees are going to be what you're told by the developer. I'm going to give you an example. When we we bought our first pre-sale here, we were told our HOA fees will be $2 because that was standard then. Do you know how much we ended up paying? $6 per square meter. The HOA fees will never, ever be what they're quoted. Some will be close, some will be way off. So what do they depend on? They depend on how big your building is, who is managing it, who's buying into it, all those things. So great question. Okay, the rooftop I wanted to show you. Okay, so here's the building, you guys. This will make it a little bit easier, okay? So Rick, this is Calle Miramar, okay? This car that's parked right here, that sits on Calle Miramar. This is the building and the ocean is over there, all right? And the rooftop, so here we have, what do we have here? So here's like a little sitting area and you see there's a little pool here. So it's not very big, but not in these kinds of buildings, you're not going to get very big pools. But you guys, I believe you all have these. These are all these are all in the Dropbox file that I shared with you. So here's the pool, okay? All right, now let's look at the price list because I think that there's always a lot of questions about how it works. And let's take a look at that. No, I have to go back. I don't know why. The thing is, I don't use this computer I use this computer for Zooms and all the things, but I don't use it for my documents. So I can't open my Dropbox on here. And that is a little bit silly, but okay, price list. So without getting too deep into the details here, let's quickly look. So yellow means reserved. We have on the left-hand side all of the units, okay? So 101, 102, and so on. Then we have the explanation what the units are, studio, 0 bedrooms, 1 bathrooms, a studio. Then we have meters squared in the third column. Then we have square feet, right? 1 square meter, 10.75 square feet. Final price. So what is this final price? This is what they have the unit listed at without a discount, all right? So this final price or any price on this price list will change dramatically as they start selling out. One thing to ask when you buy, whether this development or any other development, is whether, you know, how are they accepting the payment? Is it in the US dollars? Is it in Mexico pesos? Right now, peso is very strong. So they probably want pesos. So you definitely want to make sure that you are understanding that conversion, right? Then we have the pre-sale price with a payment plan, okay? If you put down 30%, then you pay 60% of the purchase throughout the construction. With 10% on delivery, you get 5% off of this final price, all right? Then the next best thing is if you put down 80% and then you pay 20% upon delivery, this is your price right here. However, it's only for the next 2 units. You see how it says here, only 2 units minus 25%? Because what they're giving, if you're giving them money right now, they're giving you the best price, but only for the next 2 units. Then the prices will go up and they probably will offer 15% off or maybe 10% off or what have you. Does that make sense? Second level shows 2 balconies facing Miramar on the floor plan, but not the picture. So Claudio, that would be a question to a realtor. Because are you saying that it on the rendering, it shows 2 balconies, but then on the floor plan, it doesn't? If that's what you're saying, then go with the floor plan. And that would be something to absolutely communicate with the developer about and make sure that you understand. How often are the payments on the 60%? Again, that is something that would have to be settled with the developer. They're usually different, but what they want is like broken down. So for example, they predict that they're going to take 16 months to build. So they're going to take the 60% that you owe, and they're going to break it down every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, whatever you can agree on. The developer will have their own way, but you can always negotiate that, right? And see what happens. We can't finance. We have to pay everything before they are ready. So unfortunately, the financing on on pre-sales is not usually available. Again, that's something to be communicated with the developer about, but I didn't see nothing on financing. So the best financing plan they offer is the payment plan that we're talking about. So you put down 30%, 60 in the time of the construction, and then final 10 at the very end. So that would be the payment plan that they offer. But yes, no, pre-sales here are very, very difficult to finance, and you have to kind of get creative, right? Maybe get a friend or a family member to go in on it. And if you think about it, right, like if you can negotiate a longer term to pay it down, so the 60%, the construction usually takes 2 years, you guys. And, you know, the purchase price here is fairly doable, where I believe, you know, you can negotiate a bit of a longer term. So that's what I would recommend. Has the developer built in PV before? You are jumping ahead of me, Peter, but I will get to that. We are actually going into that right now. So if there's any more questions on the pricing, you guys, I'll take them now, and then I'm going to hop onto the developer, okay? Good, good. Okay. All right, let's go into the developer. So I'm not going to share the developer overview. I'm just going to take over the screen here. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a second. Okay. So in the Dropbox that I shared with you, there is a developer resume, and it's not very clear, but I'm going to clarify it for you. The developer, and this comes from my trusted realtor agent who is very knowledgeable in new construction. The developer is a realtor. It's his first project. He represented many large developments. He represented Calm Development, I believe Zoho, and some others. He has experience in Vallarta. He lives in Vallarta. He does not have experience building in Vallarta. So it's his first project. And excuse me, what we are facing right now is, and this is the reason why it's not sold out yet. So this project is for someone who has a higher risk aversion, because there are permits that need to be in place before the construction can break the ground. With this project, the construction has not broken the ground yet, as we know. So in order for them to start building, they need to obtain, I'm not going to say how many, I think it's 2 or 3 permits. And one of the permits is at federal level, and it could take up to 6 months to get. And without that one permit, you cannot get the other 2. So the point is this construction may not happen for the next 6 months. It has happened in Vallarta, where developers started to collect the money and build the project, and then, you know, the project didn't go. There were some bad apples, but in the recent years, the money was returned, everything was fine. We don't believe this will happen with this particular developer, because we believe he has a reputation here. He's done a lot of business here. Usually people that disappear, or people that never, you know, get the things go. Well, not getting the things going is really not up to the developer sometimes, right? It depends on the permits. It depends on the federal level. So we think, Hannah thinks, and she's the one who has the most knowledge on this, she believes that it's the matter of time. So what's happened right now, what can be done? You can go ahead and put a refundable deposit and start digging deeper with a realtor who can help you, who has knowledge. So Hannah is welcome to help anyone who's interested. But again, this is a higher risk project, right? So you need to understand that you're putting down your 5,000 US dollars, or about 100,000 pesos, and you need to work with a lawyer, and you need to work with a realtor, and you need to spend the time to understand the process. How long will that take? I don't know, right? We don't know how fast the developer is going to be sharing things with us. But what we do know, the opportunity is as great as it is because of this, right? Because if it wasn't the case, the prices would have gone up. Any questions about that, you guys? Questions? I'll quickly go over, if you want to put in the question right now, I'll quickly go over how would it work if you were interested, for example. The way that it works is, Claudia, 5,000 regardless of the unit. Yes, that is a standard refundable deposit regardless of the unit. Now, I'm not certain how they want it, whether they want it in pesos or 5,000, so, or US, but basically here's how it works. Say you are interested. I connect you with Hannah. You then fill out a purchase request. In that purchase request, and this is why it's so important to work with a realtor who works for you. Because if you were to go to the developer's realtor, they would fill out a purchase request the way the developer wants it, right? Like if you have someone looking out for you, they're negotiating for you. So what Hannah would put is basically, we want to, this is the deposit we're putting. Here's how we're putting it. Here's how much time we want it for. Here's what we're looking to understand, right? Because communication in Puerto Vallarta is not the strongest ever. And with these type of projects, it's even slower. So when, we're putting in the request of such form, right? We need to make sure that your client's interests are protected, right? So we're asking all these questions saying, okay, how long? Well, it's usually 2 weeks, but we're not going to get the information within the 2 weeks, right? So you need to discuss that with the developer. You need to negotiate the whole thing. You need to say, okay, we need to see the paperwork. We need to see the permits. We need to see what's happening. Then you have a lawyer help you understand what's happening, because trust me, no one but someone who's been doing it a long time can understand what's happening. And then you make your decision. You go, okay, I'm going to wait 6 months or whatever till the construction breaks ground to get going, or I'm going to pull out, right? Now, once they get those permits, the prices are going up, you guys. Like that's just how it works, right? So that is the risk reward here. Okay, developer's name and company. Hector, I had shared that in the Dropbox link. Please take a look there, okay? How do we confirm it's refunded? It is, how do we confirm it's refunded? Is it refunded if we pull out or only up to the developer? Now, no, so yes, you have to pull out in order for it to get refunded, 100%. It is a law here to refund that deposit. How you know if the developer is going to give it back to you? You talk to a realtor you trust who's helping you to write that purchase request, and you feel it out. That's the only way we do business in real estate. You never know for sure. However, what I'm going to tell you is that, yes, by law, the developer must return your money within the 2 weeks if they don't deliver what they said they would. In this particular situation, we know they're not going to deliver what they said they would because the permits are not ready. So that's where you're negotiating the time to dig deeper, right? To understand, is it going to take 6 months? Or, maybe it's going to take a month, right? And if it's going to take a month, well, then obviously you can go ahead and wait. Does that make sense? Any more questions about this, you guys? So basically, I'm just trying to think, how can I explain it? But the easiest way to understand it is you put the money down to hold the unit at the price that's given to us right now to do your due diligence, to look through the paperwork, to understand how long the process is going to take. And then once you understood, if it's a positive outcome and you think, okay, you found out with the help of a lawyer and the realtor that it's going to take 2 months, más o menos, to get those permits, well, then you're like, okay, great. Now we're going to put a contract together. We're buying this unit. The other option is you did your due diligence. You found out that things are not looking very good. It may take 6 months. Well, then you need to make a decision. Are you going to be waiting 6 months with just the 5,000, or are you going to move on to something else? Right? So that's kind of the question there. Why I think it's a good idea to put the 5,000 and see what happens if you're truly interested in this is because we don't know exactly where the developer sits, and it could be a lot closer than 6 months than what we're thinking, right? And if it is, then this opportunity is money. let's talk about money. If there's anything else comes up, then I'll share. Please ask away. I'm gonna move on to the rental potential. Let me see. So with the rental potential, we are going to look at, oops, what did I just do? Sorry, guys, I lost you here for a sec. Here we go. I need to share my screen and I just forgot about that. Here we go. All right, rental potential. We are going to go. So I'm not going to get into all of the details of how I figure out rental potential for units, because I have my own system. But what I usually do, I'll just quickly tell you, I go into Airbnb website. Here we are on Airbnb in the area of the development. And I just research, I look at the prices, I look at the units, I look at all the things. I have a lot of experience with real estate, so and I love it. So without getting into too much of a detail, let me check the question. Is the developer financing the project or are they depending on the buyer's payments? So we definitely hope that the developer is financing the project. But that is something that you are going to be digging through, understanding in that period when you put your deposit down and you understand. Our understanding, yes, he has the money to build, but that is based on his reputation and Hannah's knowledge of, his previous work. We don't have a paper to guarantee that, so that's why you would need to make sure that you check that with your lawyer. And the realtor can help with that. Okay, so back to the prices. So I went on to the Centro area here, and the prices are in pesos. We are in Mexico. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can tell, right? Like there is a little bit of a higher price, a little bit of a lower price. Like they depend on so many things, sizes of the units, exact location. Biggest reasons why the prices vary usually are, how it's furnished. What kind of amenities does it have, such as rooftop pool? That's why it's so important, in my opinion, if it's not just a rental property. I mean, if you want to come and enjoy this on your vacation, it's just so gorgeous to have a sunset view. It's just beautiful. So that's how I come up with the numbers, right? So I look at this, I research it, and then I go into AirDNA. I do not like AirDNA very much because the data is not, it is accurate, but it doesn't tell you everything you need to know. But regardless, I wanted to share with you that when I was looking through what's available in this area, all of the units that are currently available, I think there was one that was 1 bedroom. All of the rest were 2 bedrooms. That is likely because all of the 1 bedrooms or studios are already rented because they're better priced. And when we go into AirDNA, and this is one reason I love AirDNA, we go down, it makes it kind of easy. I don't have the paid account, so this is just a free account, but it's good enough for me. I'm going to show you one thing. So look, listings by rental size, 1 bedrooms take the highest percentage. And if I can share my experience, so we own 2 bedroom properties, and I wish we had bought, instead of the 1 2-bedroom properties, the 2 studio units in terms of rental revenue. And the prices for our 2-bedroom unit versus a 1-bedroom studio unit in the same building are very insignificantly different. Nightly prices. So purchase price of a 2-bedroom unit is a lot higher right now, whereas you can get into a studio or 1-bedroom unit at a lower price and your income potential is almost the same. So that is the reason why I love this development. And yes, they're small units, but the target market for me personally is couples or families with one child, because those are the easiest to deal with usually, or singles. There's less wear and tear, and your income potential is incredible. So let me stop the share, and I'm gonna quickly go over the numbers that I estimate with my piece of paper, that I estimate for Frida. And I'm going to put it all in the email when I send you the replay. So it'll be all there. But I'm estimating between, just a second, you guys, between $65 US a night for the smaller units with less of a view. And that would be probably about 1,100 pesos, based on a 17 pesos per dollar US exchange. And up to about 95 to possibly even 100 for per night, US dollars, or somewhere between 13 to 1,500 pesos per night for higher level units with the view. Now, caveat to that is it depends on how you furnish it, right? It depends on how your unit is furnished. You can charge a little bit more, you can charge a little bit less if there is only just one queen bed versus, or sorry, not a queen bed, because these are really small units. It depends on a few things, and that is something that it would take me too long to get into, but between $65 to about $95 per night. And I would estimate you could go above 65% occupancy rate. So basically you can rent your unit for way more than 65% of the year, right? So that's just over 7 months, 6 months, right? Just over, well, around 7 months. I believe in that area, the occupancy rate potential is high, because in the high season, so November through March, April, you're looking at Canadians, Americans, and European tourists. And then in the low season, a lot of Mexican nationals are traveling. But Vallarta, that's why that location is so great, because all of the attractions are around you. So your occupancy could be a lot higher than 65%. So this is a very conservative estimate, in my opinion. So when we do all the numbers, 65, I'm taking the lowest amount, $65 per night. At 65% occupancy rate, you are looking at gross income of 15,200. Right? So that is 15% return on your money if you're buying a $100,000 unit, which is what we're estimating, right? So your $100,000 unit that's currently listed at that price, that's what you're renting for 65, maybe $70 a night. So that is pretty incredible. Now, of course, there are expenses. Of course, there are things to know about the expenses, and that's a whole other side of running a short-term rental business. But again, that's a topic for another day. I'm happy to share with you resources I've created about that. I offer paid course on how to do it. I'm actually thinking about doing a live training, because I get a lot of questions about it. So I think I should probably think about something. If you guys don't mind, let me know. Would you be interested? You don't have to do it now, but you can, when I send you an email, you can reply to me and say, yeah, we would be interested in understanding. Like, what I was thinking, let me quickly share this with you. What I was thinking is taking a select number of people who would be interested along on like a journey. I'd go to the area, I'd video it, and we would take one project and then break it down, and then just go like through all of the expenses. And so then what would your net be for that particular project? Then we would go to the next area, we do the same, and we just kind of go through the bay. Like I would start with probably Centro, and then Versailles, Marina, Nuevo, and Bucerías, or something like that. So like through the most popular areas, and just guide you through the process. So if you are considering buying here to rent, I could break it all down for you. And I could kind of share with you how would I do it, like how I do it, where I don't use a property management company, but I only spend between 15 to 45 minutes a week managing my rentals. So saving like 15 to 20% in management fee. Let me know when you reply back to my email. Let me know if you'd be interested. Okay. In something like that, Hector is. Thank you, Hector. Yes, awesome. Okay, and so for the next steps, you guys, I'll take any questions you may have right now. Let me know. For the next steps, if you are interested, if you have any more questions, I'm happy to connect you with Hannah. I'm happy to answer questions that I know answers to, but I've kind of shared everything here with you that I know and understand. So this is like my overview as an investor. This is how I would be thinking about it. So I just wanted to share that with you. And then you can go ahead and make your own decision. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about Frida right now. And I will be happy to answer them or send you over to Hannah, who can answer them better than me, probably. Well, yes. So that's what the renders show. And yes, I do believe they will be themed because that whole neighborhood is just, it's so beautiful. You guys, I wasn't lying to you when I was like, it was just so artsy. So yes, I do believe it's going to be very pretty. Now, how they're going to do it, that would be a good question for Hannah and the developer, right? Like what kind of materials are they using? But I think it'll be pretty. Can you provide a rough estimate? So it wouldn't be an estimate, Claudia. I would say that just what I think, right? I think that you're looking at probably $4 to $5 per square meter because the prices in Vallarta are going up. You have a pool, so there'll be maintenance. It's a smaller building, but my honest estimate would be about $5 per square foot. That's what I would count on. No chickens in the neighborhood. Larissa is traumatized by chickens. I didn't hear any chickens, but I'm sure there are. I am sure there are because that is, Larissa, you know that area. It's right. So Mirador Sierra de la Cruz, it is right around there. So as you go higher up, there are definitely chickens and the sound travels, right? So when it's night, I didn't hear any in the morning, but there probably are. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. So did I scare you guys with the developer situation? Or are you like, yes, we're gonna figure this out and we're doing this? Let me know. That's the beauty of Mexico. Well, exactly, right? The chickens, the dogs, the fiestas. I love it. Larissa, not really. I'm in. Well, I mean, I think it's not a huge risk, in my opinion, to like the deposit will be returned. Like, I mean, the developer he's got too much of a reputation here. Not like I don't see him doing it, right? It's not like some new developer from Guadalajara coming in for the first project. It's a different scenario. So from that perspective, I completely agree. Oh, awesome, Layla. That's amazing. So Layla is meeting with Hannah to talk more about this. Amazing. That's great. I think it's a really, really, really good move, you guys. Now, what's come out of it, we'll see. But, this is something really not dependent on us or even the developer sometimes, you guys, right? Like it's the government. And I think that's the biggest piece. But what gives me good vibes about it is that the developer knows, like he's been in this business long enough selling, he knows what's up. So that's really good, right? Like, why would you go and put the money to do the renders? They're not cheap to buy this property. Like, why would you go out and do all that if you didn't think it had at least 80% chance of success? I can send it to, so Claudia, what I'll do is here, I'm going to put my WhatsApp number. Hang on. Oops. This is my WhatsApp number. 217-293. Send me a WhatsApp And then I'll share the contact with you. I'll share Hannah's contact with you, okay? I can also do the, I'll add it. Actually, no, I won't do that. Just WhatsApp me for the questions or email me. How do we access the files? From the Dropbox link, Hector? You just click on it and it should open. Just click on it and then it'll take you there. I'll resend it to you if yours is not working, but it should be working. Yeah, so there are the 2 units that were reserved. Well, I saw it when did I get information? A couple of weeks ago on this development. And when I got the info, they were all available. Like it was just brand new. And I got the info from Hannah, by the way. And so within like 3 or 4 days, those 2 units got reserved. And now it's coming up onto 2 weeks, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I bet you it'll probably stay reserved because I know it wasn't the developers reps who were reserving it. It was actually agents from our office. So we'll see. Maybe we can sneak some information out as well. And if we do, I'll be happy to share anything that we find out. But the processes here in Mexico it takes a long time, right? Like, because you're dealing with bureaucracy, you're dealing with all the things. So something that would take a lot faster in Canada, for example, takes longer here. So that's just something to be expected. I don't have the link. Yes, please. Okay. Yeah, Hector, I will. I'll send it to your email after the meeting so you can check it out. Anything else, you guys? Any other questions? Look at me, under 1 hour. Boom, boom, boom. So since I have you all on here, if you don't have any questions, do tell me maybe what are you guys looking for? What are your budgets? Like, do you know the process of buying pre-sales here? Are you familiar with it? I have a really great resource to help with that. I also have a great resource because there was a question about financing. I have a great resource about that. And yeah, I offer all sorts of different things. I've got these are all free. And then for more in-depth things, like if you need help figuring out like A to Z kind of thing, then that's paid. But also like I'm here to help because we've gone through this process and it's simple, but it's not easy. And just knowing what you're doing makes a big difference and you can get there a lot faster, right? So if you need any of the resources I just mentioned, you can just shoot me a message or an email or whatever works. Okay. Thoughts on Vidante area, Kai, di Toscana. So 2 years ago, I'd say no. Right now, I really enjoy I love Nuevo. This is where we live. I didn't think it was a great idea for short-term rentals. If you are looking for short-term rentals, I still don't think it's a great idea, but what I do think is that for midterm rentals, it's a fantastic idea because the midterm rents have gone up significantly in the last year or so. So from that perspective, I believe so. Key, I like the location of the Key. I don't like the units. And Di Toscana, I like the units. I don't like the location. What could instead of just being like, this is all bad, what could I recommend instead of Key and Di Toscana? They're building something new on Boulevard Nuevo Vallarta, and there's no information about it, so I'll keep you posted on that one. It's a really good location. Well, it's on the street, but it's close to the beach. Like you can walk to all the attractions. There are a couple more that I really like as well, and they are on closer to the El Tigre, but it's buildings. So I really like those areas personally. Oh, good, Hector. That's awesome. There will be more. I mean, Nuevo is just getting started, and that was another reason why I wasn't a big fan of it before, because there is a lot of land, right, to develop. But Nuevo is loved, and if you're looking to like come at a specific time and rent it out to, whomever for 1, 2, 3 months at a time, it's a good idea for sure. It's still fine for short-term rentals, I think, but it's just not as, there's not as much to do. Like you wouldn't have as much occupancy here as you would in PV. But it also depends on your own kind of like, why are you buying, right? Are you going to be coming here and spending 6 months at a time and then rent it out the other 6 months or what have you? Because then you also really need to enjoy the location, right? So, okay. Well, if there are no more questions, thank you so very much, everybody, for being here. I will send the replay probably within the 24 hours, but likely like first thing tomorrow morning. If you have any questions, you've got my WhatsApp, send them my way. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you. Oh, thank you, William. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Larissa. I will see you on YouTube or the next live. Okay, thanks, everybody. Bye.